Hey guys, EDDBUD here, and today I'm looking at the ADIDAS SL20 after 100 miles. I really love it when a shoe gets to that milestone point. You've experienced its facets, its pros, its cons, and really have a feel for its true quality. Today is the day for the ADIDAS SL20. This one had a really high initial score from me. Way back in May, I think it was, when I first reviewed it. I gave it a whopping 11.5 out of 12. It's a pretty good score. Almost perfect scores for upper, midsole, outsole, and value. So, how's it hold up over 100 miles? Let's get to it. So, we'll start with the upper first. No issues aside from a very small bit of wear in the very back of the heel collar here. I mean, we're talking microscope stuff here. I think over time though it could work its way into a bit of a hole, so a little bit of a letdown there. But it's not noticeable on foot at all. The upper still fits like Jim Carrey's gloves. And I'd suggest is one of the most consistent in terms of upper fit of the entire year. I mean, I've tested a lot of shoes out and the upper on this really does shine. Lockdown with this shoe is super smashing great. I think the fantastic Jim Bowen would be proud. I think the SL20 actually puts a lot of much more expensive shoes to shame. It's just a traditional setup, no singing, dancing stuff here, no weird carbon plates or odd lacing options, just consistent fit. And that's what we're after. One of the best uppers of 2020, as I've mentioned. So lightweight, yet flexible, traditional in feel, like a Sunday roast. I'm going to take off only a few micro points for that little bit of wear here in the back of the heel collar. So I'm going to give this one 2.7 out of 3 for upper after 100 miles. Or 100 big ones, or whatever you want to call it. I know you like this bit, so I'm going to really amplify it today. Midsole now. Super consistent response in the midsole over all sorts of different conditions. I found the midsole just got better and better and better and better after a few miles, and the amount of light strike here for me is just spot on. Chef kiss stuff. A contoured shape here in the midsole means the material's under the parts of the foot where it needs to be and not where it doesn't need to be. Does that make sense? It's just cut back in areas where you don't need it. I mean, why would Adidas put foam where you don't need it? At only 256 grams, that's spot on 9 ounces in my UK size 11.5, or that's a US size 12. It's right in that zone, along with the endorphin speed, the Hyperion tempo, and the Pegasus Turbo 2 actually. Hey, future ad here. Just so you know, there's a significant weight increase in the new version of the SL20. 28 grams in fact, which is spot on 1 ounce extra weight. You had one job, Adidas. One job. Not sure what happened there. It was like there was 2 of me in the world for a second. Like deja vu or something. I wonder if Kafuzi's been messing around with those infinity stones. I found the torsion plate here becomes far more apparent when you hit this bad boy with some pace. Though I did really enjoy the midsole with practically any pace running. Recovery paces down at 8 minutes 30 per mile, and then much faster, close to 20-minute 5Ks. Just a joy to run in really, every time in the SL20. I just found the amount of foam here spot on in my books, and fans of a more responsive underfoot experience will undoubtedly like this one, as have I. I think it is down to the position of that torsion plate here. If you midfoot strike, it's just perfect really in terms of its position, just applying a little bit of rigidity just where you need it. I think it still feels pretty good on some longer sessions, though some people might shy away from the lack of cushion here in the forefoot, so perhaps that's its Achilles heel a little bit, but practically everything else it does well. I think for me, after 100 very enjoyable miles, I'm going to give this one a 2.8 out of 3 for the midsole. Only limited a little bit by lack of long distance operations. The outsole shows little signs of wear at all. I mean, there's a tiny little bit of tarnished rubber here in the midfoot area, but you got to get your microscope out to be able to see that one. Even R2-D2 scanning wouldn't be able to pick that up. I'd go for a continental breakfast every time. I think despite the shoe not having a very thick amount of rubber here in the forefoot and the midfoot, it's holding up really well, very durable. I've tested it on gravel, road, concrete, and also some grass too. And it's just fab on any surface. It just eats it up like a hungry dog when someone's knocked over the cat food box. There's a little spot here of degradation in the Addy wear in the heel where I've got a little bit sloppy at times. But I can see this one going on for miles and miles and miles and miles, a little bit like the Who song. For me, a 2.9 out of 3 for outsole after 100 big ones. We've got to talk value now. Value-wise, it's got to be a 3 out of 3. End of discussion. I think for the meagre Earth credits that you can pick up a pair of these, you just can't go wrong, really. I think it's streaks ahead of the competition, in fact, around that price range. There's nothing else that really quite touches it. A sublime upper here with legendary lockdown, a miraculous midsole, an outstanding outsole materials and layout. It's a victory for value in a world strapped of Earth credits and overpriced super shoes. This is the cure. Go and buy a pair right now. Tell them EDDBUD sent you. So if I've totaled the scores up properly, this gives me 11.4 out of 12 for the ADIDAS SL20 summer ready version. I know lots of you have got a pair of these and hope you've been enjoying them over the last few months. I certainly have, and I'll have very fond memories of this one. Now get in your box, because we got the new version. I wonder how heavy it is. I'll have an initial review of the SL20.2 coming up tomorrow for you, so stay tuned. I've got a TV recommendation for you today. If you're lucky enough to have the Disney Channel right now, then you'll be able to check out the Star Wars Christmas special. It's a Lego one. Lock S-foils to attack position. There's a really great story with this one. Poe Dameron's trying to put together a Christmas bash. He's getting loads of people together, and Rey decides to go off on another one of her crazy adventures. And she ends up travelling through time, and she goes to loads of specific points in the Star Wars universe. You know, she sees Luke when he's training on Dagobah with Yoda. She goes to the part in Return of the Jedi where the Emperor and Darth Vader take on Luke. Oh, it's just loads of points there. One of my favourites though is with the binary sunset, where they kind of interrupt Luke while he's drinking his blue milk. It's really brilliant. I think it's about 45 minutes long and kid friendly, obviously. Definitely one to check out with the family with Christmas coming up. Okay, it's time for me to get some rest and relaxation, ready to test out this one tomorrow. Thanks for watching through to the very end. I very much appreciate it, people. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications of when we launch those new videos. It really does help the channel out as well if you give this video a thumbs up, like, and share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you